think we're live. Hopefully we are. Yeah, we're live. All right, cool. Happy Wednesday, February 5th. This is our first Q&A of the year, and I'm just here for you guys for the next half hour, 45, or whatever. I'm here to answer any questions you have. I'm gonna start doing these Q&A calls. Well, I'm gonna test this concept of doing these Q&A calls once a week or so on Wednesdays around this time. So once a week, Wednesdays at 11:30 Eastern time, we'll be doing these Q&A calls just so I can help you guys out more. Because not all of you guys are going to be able to join my barbershop owner community where we do these Q&A calls every single week. Plus I do one-on-one coaching inside that community for certain people. But I understand that everybody has the resources to join that community, so that's why I'm going to start doing these calls. So if I can help you guys out, help you make more money, and I mean, that's mission accomplished for me. So if you guys have any questions, just fire away, because I don't really have an agenda for this call yet. I'm going to probably go off some things that are like top of mind right now, like what's working in our shop, what's not working, etc. So if you have any questions, type them in the chat and I will answer them as they come up. And I'm also trying to pull up some things on my end so I can have something to go off of for you guys today. That's not it. Hold on a second. A lot of you guys probably don't know who I am, so I guess I should start by introducing myself. My name's Alex. I own House of Shaves Barbershop. I've been a barbershop owner since 2015. We've done a few $1 million in revenue and growing, and we have 2 locations. We're based in Jacksonville, Florida, and I have this Skool community. It's free for barbers. I also have another community for barbershop owners, and I kind of do this stuff because I wish that this is the kind of stuff that was around when I was getting started. I spent so much time and energy and wasted a lot of time and money because I didn't know what I didn't know. So I do this for you guys just because it makes me feel good. Maybe some of you guys will want to work with me in the future, but otherwise, I just do this to give back, right? I have no agenda other than I want to help elevate the barber industry and help all you guys make more money. So maybe we can all charge more. Maybe that's like the one thing that we could all do. If we elevate the barber industry enough, maybe we can all get to the point where we can charge more. So I guess let's start off by talking about what's new in our community. So if you guys don't know, I have 2 communities. I have a barber school. Well, the platform is called Skool. It's called Barber Mastermind. And if you don't know what I'm talking about or you want more information, you can comment on any one of my Instagram posts at Alex J the Barber, and it'll automatically DM you some information about how to join the group, the free group. It's free. Or you can DM me the word guide on Instagram. Same thing. It'll respond automatically. It'll send you the information to join the group for free. What's up, Timmy Cuts? Yes, I do still cut hair, but I do part-time. So usually it depends. It's somewhere between like 15 to 20 hours a week in the shop cutting hair is what I typically do. But that's not how I started though. So that's the key. Like, don't confuse, me being at home right now in my home office with that's what I did to get here. Like, I was in the shop every single day, 7 days a week. And I think my record is like 6 months straight without a day off in the shop cutting hair from open to close. So that's how I started. That's how I got here, by doing that. And that's the price you have to pay when you're getting started. Thanks, Cuts by Zane. I appreciate it, man. I do it for you guys, because I don't have to do this, man. Like, I could be at the shop right now cutting hair or doing something else that makes me money, or this is just for y'all. So I just want to give back. But yeah, so we have good business dialogue as business owners. Yeah, I mean, that's what I talk about. I talk about business, like, I'm not the guy that's going to teach you about how to edit photos or how to build your social media, because that's not how I did it. Like, there are people that are great at that. They're great at social media. They built their entire business around social media. I built my barbershop to multi-millions and millions of dollars in revenue without social media. So I don't talk about social media because that's not my main way of getting clients. My main way of getting clients is Google, paid ads, so Meta, Facebook, Instagram, like that's what I do. I don't focus on social media. It's important, and I think everybody should, especially if you need clients. You should use every method available to get clients. But I wouldn't like rely on social media alone. If that makes sense. First one in, last one out. Yeah, man, that's the mentality you have to have, especially if you're a leader, especially if you're the owner. But regardless of your position, if you want to grow, that's the mindset. That was the mindset I had before I was a owner. So that's what you got to think about. Like, if you want to be a barbershop owner or you want to be a manager in your shop, you have to start acting like that to earn that title. Like, you don't get the title and then start acting like that. It's the other way. You got to prove that you're able to handle that first, and then you get the responsibility, right? So I 100% agree with that. First one in, last one out, always. As a Daniel Juan, sorry, I don't know how to say your name, Daniel Jesus, as a barber student right now, how should I go about looking for a barbershop to work in for the first time? Well, good news for you is I have a YouTube channel, Daniel. It's my name, Alex J, the Barber. And I have a video on there that talks about, there's a couple videos that I made for you guys for barbers specifically. A lot of my content is for barbershop owners, but there are some stuff for barbers. So there's one video on there that is about like booth rent versus commission versus hourly. So you want to check that one out. There's another one like that says, do this before applying for a job. So like basically how to increase the likelihood that you get the job. But I would say it all boils down to, if at least this is what I did, right? If you're a barber school student, like I was 10 years ago, I tried to find the busiest shop that I could. Like, that's where I started. It worked out really great for me because I didn't have to worry about marketing, and my cuts needed help, like skill wise. I wasn't where I wanted to be. So I went to the busiest shop that I could. And there's two reasons you want to do that, I think, because you're going to get the practice you need to get your skills up, and you don't really have to worry about money as much, right? Because if they're busy, even if you're getting paid minimum wage or like on the low end of commission, if they're busy enough, you could still make money. And that's what a lot of barbers don't realize, I think. Like, if you go straight to booth rent and you don't have any clients, it's kind of tough, man. The odds are against you. Like, people have figured it out, but I just want the odds to be in your favor. I want you to stack the deck in your favor. So if you're brand new, no clients, no skill, brand new to the industry, or even maybe you have some experience but you're new to that city, I would just try to find the busiest barbershop in your area, the one that's going to keep you busy. You take whatever they give you, pay-wise, right? Because you have no skills yet. And you just focus on volume. Like, do as many haircuts as you possibly can, because that's what's going to cut your learning curve. And maybe when you feel like skill-wise you're good enough, then maybe you go somewhere where the earning potential is higher. But if you think about it, you can get paid to learn if you choose the right shop. So that would be my advice to you, Daniel. Cuts by Zane wants to know, how many barbers in the biggest shop of yours? Well, that number is always changing, to be honest. I mean, it's like, right now we have 7 barbers at our Southside location, and we're interviewing some people, so probably gonna have 8 soon, but then we got 1 moving. So the number's always changing. Right now it's like 8. We try to keep it as we try to find this balance of having enough barbers so that people can book like the same day if they want, but not too many to where it's like everybody's just sitting around doing nothing, especially because we pay our barbers hourly, so they're getting paid whether they're cutting hair or not, and that's like a big expense if you have a ton of people sitting around doing nothing, right? Now, there's things that they can do to fill their schedule, but I look at that as my responsibility to fill their schedule, and I look at the barber's responsibility as to get them to come back, right? And if we both do our job well, then the shop grows, right? The largest annual revenue, honestly, like we've had 7-figure years. I wish I could have started tracking this stuff from like day one, because I didn't even like start using accounting software like until like 3 years in, 4 years in. So I don't even know like what we made the first few years, but we've definitely had like over 7-figure years for sure. Glad to hear that. Hopped on to hear owner's perspective. Yeah, I'm glad you found it helpful, Timmy. Trey blended that, said, I recently moved to a new state. I'm trying to figure out to find the best barbershop for me. Any advice? Kind of like I told Tim or Daniel earlier. Just try to find the busiest shop, man. And you can narrow it down. Like this is what I did. First you got to think about like who do you want to work with, which is kind of tough because in the beginning you don't want to be too picky because you should just take everything you can get, right? You can't be picky until you start getting busy, right? But it does help, at least the way I thought about it was, what are the types of clients I want to work with? And then you look in those parts of town that have the barbershops that are in those parts of town that are kind of suit the demographic you want to work with. So I wanted to work with kind of a higher income demographic. So I only looked in the parts of town that met that criteria. So that way it goes from like the whole city to just these parts of town. Hopefully that makes sense. And you want to find a place that's just going to keep you busy, man. Like, because I don't know, like I don't agree with a lot of the advice on the internet. Like I don't think you should have to market, like as a barber, if you're getting started, because that's a whole other skill set that takes years to learn. Like I've been marketing for almost 10 years now, and it still feels like every single day I'm like learning something new. So I feel like if you're brand new to a city or to a state, or you're new to the industry, just try to find the busiest shop you can and get in there, right? And if you have skill, it's not going to be hard. But yeah, I mean, that would be my advice. Just try, and you can just look on Google and just like barbershops near me in the area that you target. And then the ones that are popping up at the top of the list, the ones that are running ads, those would be the first places I would start. I would go in there, meet the owner. Again, I have, like I was telling the guy earlier, I have a YouTube channel. It was about how to find a barbershop to work at or what to do before you apply to kind of increase the likelihood. I would go to their website. I would learn a little bit about them. Go in there, maybe get a haircut, see what the vibe is like, see if you could even see yourself working there, meet the owner, and then apply, right? But if you go in there and you don't like the vibe, or the shop's really slow, or it's in a bad part of town, then just move on to the next one, And that's what I did. That's literally what I did. I went to like 3-4 different shops. I walked in all of them, met the owner. Some of them I liked the vibe, some of them I didn't. And I applied, and thankfully I got lucky and I got the first place I applied to. But it's because I did all that, right? Thinking about going to Sport Clips, bro, honestly, like I highly recommend Sport Clips. Like I don't know, our industry, some barbers are like, their ego is like up here, but I know I talk to them every day because they apply to work for me and they're making like $200 a week or something like that, right? But then those are the same barbers that are like too proud to go to work for Sport Clips. I mean, there's people that were working at Sport Clips right now that are making like $500, $600, $700 or more a week, right? There's some barbers on booth rent that aren't doing that. In fact, most of the ones I've talked to aren't doing that. They're barely making enough to pay the booth rent. So that's why I'm a big fan of going to these chains at the very least to get started. And then when you have your skills up, or when you have a good amount of clients that follow you, then you hop into somewhere that has higher earning potential. And then you're not starting like from scratch, because some of those people will follow you. Now, the further you move, the less likely that they're going to follow you. But, so you want to try to move somewhere close, ideally, but just know that you will lose clients no matter what you do. Because some people just love going to Sport Clips because it's Sport Clips. Like they love the massage that they get or whatever, right? So not everybody's going to follow you, but you got to think about what you need, right? So if you need skill or you need clients, go to somewhere that has those things, right? That'll put you in that environment. And then, you don't have to stay there forever, or you might love it there. I don't know. But then you can always go somewhere else, right? But I think that the reason why a lot of barbers fail and just stop barbering altogether is because they chose the wrong shop to work at. Like, that's what it all boils down to. Choose the right shop to start your career, and that's building a really strong foundation, I think. I'm at a commission-based shop for now, 70-30. So 70 goes to you or goes to the owner? Which one? But if it's 70 going to you, that's a pretty good deal. It's going to be hard to beat that, right? Hey, what's up, Barber Shears? Daniel, you're welcome. How much per hour do certain barbers get paid based more on experience? So we have a performance pay structure. So basically the way that works is I purposely set the hourly rate kind of low, like barely like above minimum wage, but we have a performance pay aspect to it, so that basically the owner, the barber, has an opportunity to earn a much higher hourly wage, and it can be as high as like $35 an hour or more. And so that's the way I set it up, because I don't want them to like only get the hourly, and because I made that mistake in the past, where I pay them like quite a bit hourly. And what do you think happens when you pay when the barbers are getting a lot of dollars per hour? Like, they're not going to be incentivized to like do anything else, right? So I make it so that it would be like a server, right? In a restaurant, it would be like really difficult to live off that hourly, so it incentivizes them to try more. And then if their sales go up and their feedback is good, then they get a bonus, right? And that bonus could bring their hourly up to 20, 25, 30 or more dollars per hour. Maybe in the future, Zane, you can join the live. I don't know. I don't even know how to use this software, to be honest. Like, this is my like third time using it. I don't even know how to share my screen yet. But yeah, I'll be happy to have people hopping on in the future. Not everyone will follow. That's the truth. 70 to you. Yeah, man. That's great. It's going to be hard to find that, you know? It's going to be, hard to beat that. And yeah, 70 is very, very generous. Certainly more than I was advised to ever pay. Because I would be willing to bet, without knowing any more details, that you are an independent contractor getting paid 70% of what you make. Because if you were an employee, then that would be basically impossible, because you also have to account for employment tax. So that's another 15%, right? And I don't know how you can make a profit as a business owner, doesn't matter what type of business, paying somebody 70% of all revenue and then another 15% of employment tax on top, unless you had another way of making money. Which some of these people do. Like, some of these people that pay their barbers, 60, 70% or more commission, have other ways of making money. So that's how you can do that. So it's not like it's impossible, but it's hard to do that with just haircuts alone, because there's like hardly any money in just doing haircuts. You got to sell products. You got to have, in my case, we have a membership program, which is almost like, it's not almost pure profit, but it's certainly, there's like cases every single month where people don't even use their membership that they're paying for. So that's just almost like free money. Not quite, but because they will eventually come back in and use it. But yeah, so you have to have other ways of making money if you want to pay your people that much. And that's what I'm actively working on, because I do want to pay as much as possible. But I've actually made that mistake in the past of, you got to do things in the right order. So there's nothing wrong as a barbershop owner to pay your barbers 50, 60, 70% or more commission, or pay as high as possible. But you have to figure out, how are you going to do that? Because you can't survive as a barbershop owner off 30% of, like, that's your gross profit before even paying any other expenses. That's just what goes to the barber. So you have to have other ways of making money to make that math work. At least in my experience, right? Especially if you have employees. So, a little bit of a tangent there, but I would imagine, Timmy, that you're an independent contractor because that's the only way I can see the math working. Like, and that's the hard part and something that you guys need to think about when you're a barber looking for a job somewhere. I talk about this in the booth rent versus commission video. It's not apples to apples when you're looking out there looking for jobs. You know, this guy that's paying 70%, it might be like it's 70%, but you're a contractor and you're responsible for your own taxes. You get no benefits, no nothing, right? But then the other guy down the street only pays 40 or 50, right? But you're an employee and you get benefits and you get paid time off. So it's not equal. So don't just look at pay alone when you're looking to work at a barbershop. It's this place is independent contractor and the earning potential is higher, but I get nothing, right? And then this place, you're an employee, so there's a little bit less pay-wise, but the benefits might make up for it. So look at the whole picture when you're looking for these jobs. Cuts by Zane wants to know, do you prefer Google Ads or Yelp? I would say Google, but it depends on the where you're at in the country. Like the more I talk to other barbers from all around the world, it's just depends on where you're at. Like in my area, I'm in Florida, so in my area, like Yelp isn't as big as in other parts of the country, right? So Google is stronger here, right? So we're definitely on Yelp, and I've tried ads, and I've tried building up our reputation on Yelp. It's a lot harder because they like those stupid the reviews go into like that not recommended section, which fucking sucks. We probably have like 3 times the amount of reviews than what's actually showing on our Yelp because it goes into that stupid not recommended section. I hate it. I hate Yelp. But the answer to your question is I prefer Google, but as far as what you should do, just test it. If you talk to anybody who's ahead of you in business, that's the answer to any question that they're gonna ask is like, just test it. So the way I would do that, and you can get as advanced as you want with this, but the way I would do it is my system allows me to create promo codes. So I would create a promo code that was unique and only showed up in Google. And I would create another promo code that was unique that only showed up in Yelp. And then I would run both at the same time. And then after, a certain period of time, a month, 2 months, whatever, you compare which one brought in more money. And then you have your answer of what's better, Google or Yelp. So that's what I would do. And I did that. So that's why I realized that, okay, Yelp's not worth it because if you just, and don't go off the platform statistics because Yelp is like, look at all these people that called you, your average call time, and look how many people are going to I don't know if I believe that shit. Like they're just trying to keep you, that's how they make money, So you have to have another like way of like looking at the data that's like unbiased. So that's why we have website analytics, so I can see how many people are coming to our website from the internet, like where on the internet. You can use Google Analytics to see that as well. But yeah, don't just go off what Yelp tells you because they're going to be like, yeah, your ads are working great. Just keep paying us. And I don't know that I believe that. I tested it and Yelp didn't work for us. But for you, try it. See what works, I use Meta. I don't use Google ads right now. I definitely don't plan on using Yelp ads anytime soon. I use Meta, which puts the ads on Facebook and Instagram. I think sometimes WhatsApp. They own WhatsApp, but I'm not sure if the ads show up there. But that's what I do. I'm actually working on a whole Meta ads course with the guy that helps me run my ads. And that's going to be in our barbershop owner community soon. We're filming the second, there's like a 3-part course. So we're filming the second part, and I think next week or the week after. And then the third and final part of that course will probably be filmed late February, early March. And so latest, like early March to late March, we're going to have a whole course in our barbershop owner community on how to run Meta ads, which is how we get most of our clients. So you click on, let's see what's going on here. Okay, good to know, Zane. Google has given us the biggest revenue bump. That's great. Awesome. Yeah, SEO is very powerful. Like, and also, AI is becoming really powerful. I mean, it already is, right? So we actually got a client the other day from ChatGPT, which was interesting. That's the first time that's happened. But I think you're going to start seeing that happen more and more. So SEO, search engine optimization, for those people that don't know, is how you rank at the top of the list when people search for Google for anything, right? So if somebody searches barbershop near, and this I do this like almost every single week. I go to an incognito window, a private browser, because I don't want it to go off my search history, and I just Google barbershops near me to see what pops up. And that's how I kind of check and see if we're still popping up at the top, because we normally are, like organically. That's another thing, is like, this is free. I don't have to pay Google to show up at the top. Like, we're doing it already. Like, we actually rank higher than Booksy and Yelp. When somebody searches for barbershop in Jacksonville, we're literally at the very top of the list, like 99% of the time. But to tie that back to AI, somebody found us through ChatGPT, but at least the way that these models are trained right now is on Google, right? On search engines and all the stuff that's out there. So I think it's going to become really, really important in the near future that you also start to think about, I don't even know how to AI SEO. I guess that's what it's called, but like, when you can go into ChatGPT and start asking ChatGPT now, what are the best barbershops near me? That's how that client found us. And what ChatGPT does is it searches the internet, basically searches Google, and goes from that. So SEO is an underrated thing, I think, that not a lot of barbershop owners are thinking about. But it's also very hard to have like good search engine optimization if you don't have a website. So everybody should have a website. Period. It's like $20 to start a website, and you got to get a domain, but it's like there's no reason not to. So yeah, SEO is great. It gets you clients for free. You just got to make sure that you are staying at the top, right? With ChatGPT, not as difficult as it used to be. You write a blog and then it fixes that. So you'd be at the top, you rank the first 3 positions. Google, you get bit traffic. Yeah, I mean, everybody. Yeah, I 100% agree. Bolio, Barber, you want to be in that, what is called the 3-pack. You want to be at the very, very top. Otherwise, because at the very least, you want to be on the front page of Google. But the higher in the search results, the better, because nobody's going to go to second page, third page, like you want to have, and this is what we talk about in our barbershop owner group. Like, I have a whole course on how to build your Google page so that you rank first, and how to get reviews basically on autopilot, so that because that also helps. Like, there's a way, and I talk about it in the course, there's a way you can actually teach your clients to write reviews so that you rank higher in the search results, because not all reviews are created equal. 5 stars is great, but there's more to it than that. Yeah, it doesn't add up, but that's okay. That's what I did. Yeah, I don't like Yelp either. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I started off commission based. I was an independent contractor, and I didn't know any better, because I just thought that was all the way every shop did it. And that's what a lot of barbershop owners probably think. And it's like, ignorance is not an excuse. That's what they tell you if you ever get arrested, right? Ignorance is not an excuse. The law is the law, right? And I get shit at any time I post a video about something law related, but it's like, bro, I'm just reading the law. Like, anybody can Google this, So, but it's okay, like, if they're treating you like true independent contractors, like you're allowed to come and go and you can charge what you want and whatever, then there's nothing illegal about that. But it's when you try to treat them like employees, but then pay them like contractors, that's when you're crossing that line there. And that's what the government does not like that. Yeah, Yelp. Yelp could Yelp could go away and I would not be sad about that. But, you know, it's a tool. Just like I don't necessarily like Yelp. I don't like their business practices. But I think 100% of people should be on there for sure because people use it. You may not use it. I don't use it, but people do. So if you're not on there, then you're talking about how to get more clients, but you're not on Yelp, that doesn't really make any sense to me. You know, you want to be in as many places as possible. I think it's called like omnipresent. You know, that's what I try to do with content too. Like if you have a video, you know, especially a vertical video, that can go everywhere. That can go to Instagram Reels, TikTok, Facebook Reels, LinkedIn, X. Where else can that go? You can even post videos on Pinterest now. You can post videos on your Google Maps page. We've got videos on there. You can put them on your website. You know, there's so many things you can do. Try to get the most out of your content, and if you're trying to get discovered by as many clients as possible, even if you don't like Yelp, you should be on there. I'm not saying you should pay for Yelp. They certainly make it seem like you have to pay them, but you don't. You can just be on there and not pay anything. It's the same thing with like when you go to hire barbers and you use a website like Indeed. They make it seem like you have to pay them in order for it to work, but you don't. There's actually free ways to do it. That's another thing that I talk about in my course. Like there's ways to get barbers for free that don't involve paying money. I mean, but typically you either got to spend time or money when it comes to any sort of marketing. And if you're looking to hire barbers, you're gonna have to spend some money if you want it to happen faster. Same thing with marketing for clients. Like if you don't have money, then you got to do the free stuff, right? You got to do posting on social media, cold outreach, reaching out to people on social media, Instagram, handing out business cards, right? You got to hustle. You got to put some time in order to get a result. But at a certain point, maybe if you start getting really good at that, you start to run out of time. And then the only way you're going to be able to continue marketing is now you got to spend money. So it's like, which do you have more of? Do you have more time? Do you have more money? But you got to do something. Like people, unless you are ranking on the first page of Google, or the barbershop owner that you work for is doing a ton of promoting, like I do for my barbers, you have to do something to let people know you exist, right? So that's how you're going to build. So yeah, fine. I love the questions, guys. If you guys got any more, type them in the chat. I got like 20 more minutes before I got to hop off. So yeah, so in the community, Barbershop Mastermind, it's 100% free. Everybody should be in this community. I mean, there's literally no cost. Like it's 100% free forever. But hey, if y'all are happy with what you make now, and you know you're told you don't want to grow anymore, then don't join. But if you want to network with other people, with other barbers that are trying to grow, there's over 2,000 barbers, 2,600 barbers in that group. And all you got to do to get the invite is go to the link in my bio or comment on any one of my Instagram posts, Alex J the Barber, and I'll automatically DM you an invite to join. So let me just go through the community to see if I can answer any questions, since I don't see any in the chat right now. So somebody asked, I wish I could share my screen with y'all. Well, actually, let me try. Hopefully I don't mess this up. I'm going to try to share my screen. I don't know if y'all can see this. If you can see this, let me know. Hopefully y'all can. So this is my community, Barbershop Mastermind. And I want to answer some of these questions right here. So this one right here was one that came up recently. Somebody asked, how long does it take for your clients to grow? So there's not like a simple answer to that question. Ultimately, it depends on two factors. It depends on how many clients you're seeing and your retention. That's it, right? So if you are, let's say you're in a shop that's really, really busy. You're doing like 10, 20, 30 haircuts a day. Like my record was 31. I did 31 haircuts in one day. But let's say you're doing like 15. Now that's pretty decently busy. You're gonna see like hundreds and hundreds of clients in a month if you're doing that, right? But if your retention isn't great, then next month you're gonna have to start over, right? Because let's say you lost most of those clients. Next month you're gonna see the same amount of clients, but they're all gonna be new, right? And then the month after that, it's all gonna be new. So if your retention is terrible, and I would say terrible is like, you're retaining like 50% or less of your clients, or maybe not terrible, but like you got room to grow, right? You got room to improve. It's going to take you so much longer to build, right? And so on the other end of that spectrum, let's say your retention is really, really good, but you're in a slow ass shop where you're doing like 2 haircuts a day, right? So even though your retention is good and the people are coming back, you're just not seeing enough people to build. That makes sense? Like, so you have to have the two ingredients to build as fast as possible. You have to be doing a ton of haircuts, and you also have to have a good client retention. And that's how you build fast, because I've seen people start in my shop that started with zero, no clients, and they ended up fully booked within, I would say, 3 months. That's fast, but it's possible, right? It's possible to start somewhere in a brand new city, no clients, no new shop, don't know anybody, and get fully booked in just a couple months. But you have to have those two things. You have to have a ton of clients coming in, and your retention has to be great. If one of those things is off, it's going to take you way longer to build. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Next question would be, tell me what I can do better to get to the next level. Continuing education classes as well. So what I did when I was getting started was, first, like I said a few times during this call, I went to the busiest barbershop that I could, right? Period. That's like the number one thing that you can do. The next thing, when I wasn't cutting hair, I was on YouTube watching haircut videos. I didn't just do that when I was in the shop. I was literally be going to the gym on the stair climber or on the treadmill watching barber tutorial videos. So, because my mindset, especially when I was in the barbershop, was I'm going to keep learning about cutting hair until I'm too busy with cutting hair to watch these YouTube videos. So I think that's a signal that it's a really simple, mindset that you can have, is like, if I'm not busy, and this is a little bit of a hit to the ego, but I think it's true. If I'm not busy, or if clients aren't coming back, then maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. And that hurts. That sucks. That sucks to make that realization for the first time. Hey, but it's true, So that means you just need to work on the skill of cutting hair. And then eventually you'll get there, and you'll be too busy to do this stuff and to worry about watching videos and stuff. I also went to as many barber battles and hair shows as I could possibly go to. Those are very, very like eye-opening, especially because you get to see some, not just like good, decent barbers, but you get to see some of the best in the world. And yeah, so that is like, if you are wanting to grow as fast as possible as a barber, what I did was that I went to the busiest barbershop that I could. I went to every single barber battle and hair show that I could, and I was in classes all day. Like, I didn't go there to buy fucking tools like a lot of people do. Like, I didn't spend any money on I think I bought a comb one time. But a lot of people go to these hair shows to like spend money and buy tools. I'm like, the value I think is in the classes, and this is in the platform artists, that some of the best people in the world, they're cutting hair, and you're worried about like buying the newest clipper. Like, you can buy it online. Go to the classes when you're there. And then when you're not cutting hair, you should be watching videos about how to cut hair faster or better. I mean, faster is part of it, but first, the way I train my barbers is first work on quality, then consistency, and then time. Some people try to get that order messed up, because you do make a lot more money if you can bring the haircut time down, but you got to do the first two things first. You got to get the quality down. Once you get to the point where you start to get really happy with your haircuts, right? Then the next step is like, okay, how do I do that consistently? So you create a system so that you can get the same result every time. Because when you're new to cutting hair, sometimes let me put my camera back on. When you're new to cutting hair, sometimes when your haircut comes out good, it was an accident, right? Like you don't even know. Like I remember that going through that when I was learning how to cut hair. Like if I did a good fade, like I don't even know what I did to get that fade done, right? Because it was so new that I just by accident, it accidentally came out good. So consistency, what leads to consistency is you start to pay attention to like, I'm following these same steps every single time. You know, I'm taking notes on clients so that I know what to do next time they come in. I'm not just guessing or trying to remember. I'm using the same tools during the same steps, you know. Stop buying all these new tools, right? Because that could lead to inconsistency because every tool is a little bit different. So yeah, quality first, then consistency. And then when you got those two down, okay, let's see if we can get the time down. I also have a how to cut hair faster course in my community, which is like the easiest way to make more money. You don't have to raise your prices. You don't have to do anything crazy. All you got to do is try to save like 15, half an hour off your haircut time, and you can 1.5, 2x your income, right? Without doing anything else, just seeing more people. So that's why it was one of the first courses that I made was how to cut hair faster, because I believe that that's the easiest thing. As long as you got the quality down, the customer service is good, and you're consistent, that's the easiest thing any barber can do to increase their income. Just cut a little bit faster, as long as you don't sacrifice quality. So yeah, man. Any other questions out there? I think I'm getting close to time here. So if there's any last questions, I will try to answer them before I hop off. If you guys don't know already, if you're joining me now for the first time, we're going to be doing these calls every Wednesday around this time, so around 11:30 Eastern. These calls are free. Anybody can join. I'm going to be streaming to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and I also do calls that aren't public inside my barbershop owner community. And we do one-on-one coaching inside there as well. That group's not free, but if that interests you, then let me know. But otherwise, the group that anybody can attend these calls, the one that you're watching right now. And I do these again because I just want to help you guys out. I don't get anything from this. I'm not sponsored by anybody. If I'm recommending something, it's because that's what I use, not because somebody's paying me to do it. I have 0 sponsorships. I have no brand deals, right? I only recommend the stuff that I do and the stuff that I use, right? I actually don't have a lot of, I don't have a lot of deals. I don't have any deals with companies. Like, as I don't want to. Like, I don't want to recommend something to you guys because I'm trying to get some commission, you know? Like, if I have some kind of affiliate deal, it's because it's the software that I already use, and they just happen to have an affiliate program. But I don't go and like, hey, I'll promote your clipper if you pay me like that. I only promote stuff that I actually use, that I believe in. So I think we got it, man. I think that was a good call. I don't know about you guys. I feel like I certainly got a lot of clips for social media out of this one, I think. Gosh, I'm gonna have a lot to edit, man. I'm so tired of editing. But if any last minute questions before I hop off, I think that, I guess I could show you guys, so those of you that have made it this far in the video, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of the barbershop owner community. So this is the free one here. So anybody can join this one, 100% free. This is the about page. This is the stuff you get when you join. It's 100% free. There is no catch, nothing. I'm not gonna ask anything from you besides to engage in the community, because that's ultimately how you get the best out of this anyways. And there's some free courses in here. These are all the free courses inside this group. But the barbershop owner community is this one right here. This one is just for owners. And this one has all the good stuff. This one's how to unedited tutorials, things that aren't public, how to cut hair faster, how to price your haircuts, weekly Q&A recordings, how to fill your chair for free using Instagram, all the checklists that we use in our shop, how to build your Google so that you get found for free, like I mentioned earlier. And then if you join, this group, you might get the one-on-one calls, but you got to do the annual membership if you want to do that. And there's a lot more coming. These are some of the things that I'm working on right now: how to hire barbers, and the Meta paid ads course, like I mentioned earlier. So that is this community here. And if you want to join that, let me know. If not, there's a free group there for you that anybody can join. So I'm going to switch back to here. All right. There we go. All right, cool. So I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to hop off, guys. So next week, same time. I'll see you then. Hope you have a good one.